most of us don't really understand what economics is all about. Somebody said once that the American economy is the 8th wonder of the world, and the 9th wonder is the people's ignorance of it.
But it's really sad when you have seniors that think, free enterprise is the name of a spaceship. We want to change our kids' future, and we certainly want to make an impact in Arkansas. And I think they're doing one of the best jobs around through economic education to do this. American capitalism is a marvel to behold, and we should be sharing it and protecting it.
The reason I've devoted a big part of my career to economic education is that I think it's so fundamental, it's so important. I think in the past it's been part of the education of our young people that's been missing.
Well, it's kind of like having a democracy and nobody knows how to vote. It's kind of hard to have a marketplace economy and nobody understands the marketplace. They don't understand the market forces. They don't understand buying and selling and supply and demand. It is critical. It's not just important, it's critical.
Economic education is more than personal finance, even though that's part of it. It's more than consumer education, even though that's part of it. It's really understanding this marvelous system that we have in the United States that accounts for the highest standard of living that people have ever had in the world, but it's a complicated system.
Choices, scarcity, wants, goods, the main stuff.
A lot of students don't know anything about economics at all until they get into the classroom, and you tell them the word economics and it kind of scares them at first. They think, what? And then you tell them it's going to be about real life, and they start listening.
I had no idea what a powerful tool this would be. I'm a counselor, I have lots of tools. This is one of my most powerful.
I think any student likes economics because of the fact that they do see the relevance of it, that it's practical, and that it's not only for just that 1 year. Sometimes students will say, well, we have to learn this subject for this year, and they're not going to ever use it again. But they're going to use economics every day for the rest of their lives. It's real easy to make economics relevant in the classroom. So we did a study of the world called Comparative Advantages of Countries. And we ended that study with a World's Fair in which students made displays and exhibits of other countries, and they learned a lot. And one student summed it up at the end of the workshop. He said, Mr. Vick, I've learned one thing through this. And I said, what's that? And he said, I always thought I was just a citizen of Fort Smith, but he said, I learned I was a citizen in a global economy.
This needs to be part of our statewide curriculum. Again, I think that our students do need to be educated on the issues of credit, on the issues of investments, on overall financial information that could help them later on in their lives.
I like to save because it helps. What happens is it can help me in life as I get older. I would have a savings account maybe to keep, so if I ever have an emergency that I have to pay or something, I could use that.
Well, I'm a counselor, so I think most obstacles are in our head. And I think it takes the teachers thinking about it differently. And first of all, they have to get away from thinking of economics as the dismal science.
But once you learn what economics is, then you see that it's not, it involves all of our lives, all aspects of our lives.
The thing that I love the most about teaching economics, first, it is so naturally adapted into our current curriculum. You just choose different materials to introduce the concepts, but it fits beautifully into the literacy model because there is so much literature that teaches economic concepts.
When we as teachers put together our lesson plans, we are trying to reach those higher thinking skills, and this did that very thing. They don't know a lot about business, but they know a lot more today than they did in January when they began this project. I don't know a lot about business, but I've learned with them.
Carrie was very troubled. Carrie had been in and out of mental institutions and counseling. She was another very bright girl and just caught on to economics. But at the end of the year, she came in to thank me for the time that she spent with me. And she said, I especially want to thank you for the economic project. She said, it changed my life. She said, I don't understand much about myself. I sure don't understand about my family. But I understand economics.
No matter what amount of income you have or what resources you have to learn how to use them wisely, and you have to learn how to make good choices.
Not everybody's going to be a rocket scientist. Not everybody's ever going to use their quantum physics. Not everybody's going to sing. Not everybody's going to write books, but they're all going to use economics. They're going to be in a marketplace. They're going to provide some good or service. They're going to consume goods and services. They're going to have assets to manage.
We can teach our students to make a good choice in life. It creates a lot of opportunities for them to have a much better way of life and maybe not make some of the mistakes that we've made in the past.
The truth is they all want a good life. They all want a piece of that American dream. They all want to be successful, prosperous, and enjoy their life.
In one year, I had a student who was thinking about quitting school. And we had done a study on income and how much more income you make if you graduate from high school than if you drop out of high school, how much more income you make if you graduate from college than if you graduate from high school, and so forth. And this student got really interested in this particular study, and this student at the end of the school year decided not to drop out of school. This student now has graduated from college and is a professional in the city of Fort Smith.
Now, if we could teach young people in elementary school even to make good choices, then their whole life is going to be better. It's going to be enriched, I'm convinced.
As someone said, education is the great equalizer. And the more we can teach them, the better tools they have, the better opportunities they're going to have in their future. And our future depends on them. And that's what we forget sometimes. If we don't pass it on, we're the ones that will pay for it.
I'm learning to make good choices.
I think all of us need to know more how to access the American dream and how to maintain the American dream and be sure it goes on to the next generation. And it's a very fluid market. It changes constantly. You know, I think when we had 9/11 with the terrorist attack, it hit the symbols, but it didn't destroy the heart of the dream. And that's why people flood our borders annually, because who ever dreamed such a dream? And how many people ever access it to this degree? And I think we can teach every student to do that. And I think we'll only have a better world if we can.